Hey guys, welcome to No Blocks. This is going to be my first of many videos, or my first and last. Tomorrow morning I have my first ProQuest, and I'm recording this the night before, so if I get completely blown out tomorrow, this might not ever even see the light of day. I started playing Flesh and Blood right when the hunt had dropped, and I fully sent it on Cindra, obviously. Which makes sense because back when I played Magic, my favorite commander was Krenko, which there's an underlining theme here I'm noticing. This will be my second event that's higher than an Armory. About a month or so after I started playing, my local shop had my area's Road to Nationals, and I entered that, and I went 3-3. At the time, I was pretty disappointed in myself, but looking back, I think I did pretty decently considering that I just started playing the game, and my local scene, which I imagine all local scenes are pretty competitive, but everybody out here, as far as I can tell, it takes the game pretty seriously. This is my first time diving into a real competitive card game. I did start playing Pokemon back in the 90s, and I entered a few tournaments as a kid, and I'm talking like elementary school, and I think I won a tournament at a Costco or a Sam's Club. But I'm 1,000% sure we weren't playing the game correctly, and they weren't like actually enforcing rules, so that doesn't count for anything. Then I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when that got popular in the States, which was like, I don't know, I was like early middle school, late elementary, something like that. I played mostly at the local game shop that was in the mall. I did enter a tournament at a local theme park, like the local theme parks. Castle Park, if you're from the Southern California area. I did come in like third, fourth in that. I don't remember what I played, but I do remember I loved Goblin Attack Force, so I crammed as many of those into my deck that I could, which, once again, if you know the card and you played back in the day, that's basically Cindra coded. I remember we moved, me and my mom, and after the move, my deck was gone, so I just stopped playing TCGs for like 2 decades or something like that almost. I got into Magic a couple of years ago with me and my best friend, specifically Commander. I built a few decks for Commander, but my favorite and my most well-tuned was Krenko Mob Boss, which for those of you who don't know is basically a red line aggro deck, but with less thinking than Cindra in my opinion. Then I moved up here to the east side of Washington and kind of just fell out of love with Magic. I did try to play at my local shop, but I lost my circle of friends, and while there were plenty of people to play with up here, just wasn't the same, and I kind of just didn't like what Magic was doing as a product, and it just was, everybody knows the problems with Magic. It's not about that. And I'll be honest, when I first started looking at Flesh and Blood, I just couldn't get over the name. It just sounds so edgelordy, and it kind of turned me off at first. But as I looked more into it, I saw a game that could fill that TCG hole in my heart and give me a more competitive outlet to dive into. I met the local Flesh and Blood community and kind of just forced myself into it. I went to the local game shop, and when I walked in and I told them I was there to learn about Flesh and Blood, they pointed to the corner of the store and said, go talk to Zach, the guy in the corner recording his game. So that's what I did. If you guys are watching this and you don't know who he is, his name's Zach. He's got his own YouTube channel called Crash Command Games. Go hit him with a subscribe and a like if you would be so kind, because he's helped me a lot from the get-go. I've asked him way too many questions to not be giving this guy money. So long story short, tomorrow's my first ProQuest, and I'm going to win. Or I'm not. But I thought I'd bring you guys along and document the experience of my first, in my eyes, event that's higher than an Armory. And we'll check back in tomorrow, and we'll see how happy or not happy I am. And we're back. I didn't win. I did come in third, fourth though. So let me tell you about it. Oh, before you leave, because I didn't win, if you want to stick around to the end, I will show you what the first place gold foil was. And in my opinion, it's probably one of the coolest gold foils I've seen that aren't at a upper level tournament pricing. So stick around if you'd like to see that. Let me start off by saying playing Flesh and Blood all day is so mentally tiring. I feel like I've been at a theme park like for hours, like all day, and I'm ready to go to bed. But first, let's go over what happened. Round one, I got paired up against Ryan on Verdance. I've played against Ryan the last 3 nights in a row at local armories preparing for ProQuest. He's been on Verdance the entire time. This matchup is literally a 50-50 for me. I win, he wins. I win, he wins. I won last night. That means this morning, round one, Ryan got the dub. I did make a little bit of a misplay. I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference. I know it would have extended the game and given me a much bigger chance to win. But I was low. He was low. I presented 3 cards. I had another card in hand, no daggers. Instead of throwing the last card in hand and then waiting for him to declare blocks, I activated Cindra. Doing so gave him the opportunity to instant speed break his boots and pop off, do his thing, and I had no dagger to blow up to prevent one, excuse me. And after that, it was over. He did end up coming in first out of the top 8 roundings, so I lost to the best guy in the room. We'll take it. Round 2 was against a Puffin. He was from out of town, so I didn't catch his name, or if I did, I didn't remember it, so I apologize if you're watching this, which I doubt. I did get the dub on this one. He won the die roll, chose to go first, and unlucky for him, but lucky for me, he drew a bum hand. He presented a boom grenade for no damage, turn 0. I had a very mid hand. I took that mid hand and decided to activate Cindra, filtering 3 of them, getting a good hand in return, and was able to present, I believe, 18 or 19 damage. Turn 1, he basically threw his entire hand to stop me and still leaked damage. At one point, I had a 20 life lead almost, and he had a couple of good turns, but I had such a life point gap that I wasn't worried about it. Was able to let him do what he wanted and me do what I want. And with that turn 0 mishap on his part, it won me the game. Round 3 was against Isaac on Verdance again. Like I said, this is a 50-50 matchup, it seems to me, but I was able to squeak out the win. What I think tipped the scales in my favor was I had a pretty okay hand. I had, at this point in the game, already spent put 1 counter on my blood splattered vest. So this turn I had 2 3 go agains and 2 breaking points. He didn't have anything in arsenal, or if he did, I think he might have used it on chain link 1 or 2. So I went 3 3, and I think on one of them I hit with a dagger from an effect. From that, I went up 1 resource, spent that resource on a chain 3 breaking point. Then I don't remember if he blocked it or not, but regardless, I went for 5 for there. Then I broke my Dragon Scalar Fight Paths, giving that a go again, and flicking as well, giving myself another point of resources, broke my vest, and sent another 5. So that, I think, kind of broke the back. It wasn't an insane turn, but it was a high value turn. It was a little risky because I broke my vest and my boots on essentially just a 16 damage turn, which is good in all respects, but it had no on hit effects. So but after that, I was able to squeak out the win, and I think that was the turn that kind of won it for me. Round 4 was against Matt on Dio. There was, I think, 2 Dios in this ProQuest lobby, and literally the only deck I wanted to avoid. Dio is one of the hardest matchups for me on Cindra. Every other matchup that was in the room, I was more confident in. So he mollywopped me. I did sequence incorrectly at one point, which probably cost me a couple points of damage, but I don't really think it would have made a difference in the outcome of the game. My notes on this game at the end were a bunch of curse words. So I don't really think I could have done anything differently looking over it, aside from obviously that one misplay that cost me a couple of damage points. But I just don't think if he has the gas, he does the thing faster than I do. Round 5 was against Ryan on Kano. This matchup is basically a race to see if I can hit him hard enough and fast enough before he can find his combo pieces. I was able to do that this round. I was able to do it by going wide on, I think it was turn 1 or 2, and on the last chain link, I sent a Draconic Art of the Dragon Scales, which hit, blew up his Storm Striders. Then the following turn, I believe it was, I did the same exact thing, and I blew up his gloves. After that, it was pretty much in the bag. He did do his combo, but he wasn't able to prevent enough damage, and I was able to get the win. Ryan actually is a YouTuber as well. He has his own channel. It's Hamman215. Go give him a like and a follow. I actually lost to him at my first RTN. He was the guy who stopped me from getting top 8 back then, so I guess it's payback. Then I got to top 8. Just barely. I was the 8th seed, and I ended up getting matched up against the 1st seed, our good old friend Ryan on Verdansk. I was already happy to be in the top 8, and going by the pattern of win-loss versus Verdansk, I was due for a loss, but I was able to squeak this one out. There wasn't any crazy plays. I think what got me the win was I believe I did some correct calls on when to flick myself with my daggers or throw dagger myself to keep my turns alive rather than throwing them at him. I know one turn for sure I did that correctly because he ended up throwing a shelter into something else I had thrown at him. So I knew he had it in hand, and that was one of the turns that I flicked myself. So I know I did it correctly at least once. He got me down to 1. I was able to get over and get the win. No crazy plays, just I think correct calls on when to value keeping my turn alive rather than gambling it. So there I was, top 4. It was 2 Dios, a Verdansk, and me on Cindra. Lucky for me, the Dios got paired up against each other, and I got paired up against Odin on Verdansk, which was the highest likelihood I could have had of winning, I believe. I mean, obviously you can win any game, but my stats versus Dios are just in the trash. So I was happy with the pairing, but I wasn't able to get the win. I think I did a slight misplay. Turn 0, I ended up going first. I should have just arsenaled him past. I threw a card for 3, and he blocked it, and then I arsenaled him past. It wasn't a very effective turn. I could have just arsenaled that card I threw, which would have been better in the long term. I don't know how much of a difference that made. I do know that there was one turn where I went wide, and I was able to get a mask trigger or snatch trigger. I forget what it was. Doesn't matter. I was able to end the chain with a draw, and I could have. It was a snatch. I could have popped my Dragon Scalar Fight Pass to gift that snatch go again. The card I drew off the top was Rake Over the Coals, which is a card that I had previously taken out of my deck, and I listened to people that are better than me at this game, and threw it back in my deck. According to the sideboard, it was a good option. I don't really like the card. I like the card in theory, but I feel like maybe it's just me. Every time I draw that card, it's like at the worst possible time. With Rake Over the Coals, basically pumps all your Draconic attacks by 1. So if I draw it on mask, it does me absolutely nothing. I arsenaled it. He threw a CNC, I believe, the next turn and destroyed it, which, that sucks. So I got no value out of it. If I got almost any of the other cards in my deck, I would have been able to do something, except for any of the one costs. But still, I think that turn really made a difference. I had him down to I think it was 3 at the end of the game. He popped me before I could get him, but I think if I was able to turn that snatch into at least 3 more damage, I would have made him block, or I would have made him take 3 more damage, and the game would have been over a turn earlier, and I think I would have won. But that's all hindsight. Can't change the past. I think I did pretty much everything I could. He just had what he needed to win, and he got the dub, and he went on to play for first. The top 2 was a Dio versus Verdance. Dio, I don't know the turn order. I wasn't paying attention at the start of the game, but I do know that he had 2 pop-off turns back to back and put Verdance on the back foot. He leaked damage, I'm pretty sure, each turn, and just got a gap and just coasted to the win after that. Verdance had to block pretty much their entire hand every turn. He threw back some damage, but it was negligible. He had the gas those couple turns. He literally, I think, he drew about as best as he could, and he ended up getting the win. So congrats to him.
Summit?
Oh shit.
Summit's cool.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, I ended the day in third, fourth. I got these nice promos as a prize: the Cold Foil Overcrowded and the EA Swing Big alternate art. Some sick cards. I will probably put them to use because I'm thinking about building RKO. He just seems really cool. It would have been nice to come in second, or first, obviously, but I think second would have been the best I could do with the matchup I was going to face, and got the playmat, but that's not that big of a deal. But it would have been nice to win and get that gold foil Yarrow weapon. That thing was sick. All in all, it was a good day. Very high highs, and there was a point there I was almost convinced I wasn't going to make top 8. I was in my head about it. I was thinking, going over everything, what I could have done differently, but it turned out to be pretty good for me at the end of the day. Could have been a little bit better, but hey, you win some, you lose some. I'll be at other ProQuests, if not this season, in the future. I just want to go to more tournaments. This is the kind of feeling that I like. The wins feel so good, and the losses, I'm not going to lie, maybe it's me, maybe it's my mental, but the losses hurt. But I must be a masochist because I like this. So I'll be back. Oh, one last thing I almost forgot. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube algorithm goody. I'm just starting out here on YouTube. If you guys want me to make more of these things in the future, help me out. If not, all good. I'll be back, or I won't. We'll see. Until then, this is No Blocks. I'm Robert. See you guys on the next one.